Chapter 1. The Invitation. Ella Bennett receives an unexpected letter, inviting her to spend the summer at Hill House, a sprawling, enigmatic mansion owned by her late aunt. Despite the unsettling stories surrounding Hill House, Ella is intrigued by the promise of uncovering family secrets and hopes to reconnect with her estranged cousin, Michael, who is also invited. Chapter 2. Arrival at Hill House. The sun sets as Ella arrives at Hill House, a grand structure perched atop a hill, surrounded by towering trees. The house looms large and ominous against the backdrop of a crimson sky. She is greeted, not by Michael, but by the enigmatic caretaker, Mrs. Fiona Gray, who displays an unsettling familiarity with the house's many quirks. Chapter 3. Ghosts of the Past. Ella explores the house, noticing how it seems to breathe with a life of its own. Rooms shift in orientation as she navigates. The labyrinthine corridors. She discovers family portraits that seem to watch her and recalls stories her mother told about the family's dark history. There's a mention of a tragedy that befell her grandmother, whose spirit is said to linger within the walls. Chapter 4. Meeting Michael. Ella finally reconnects with Michael during dinner, an awkward reunion filled with unspoken tension. Michael is withdrawn, haunted by his own demons. He reveals a tragic event from their childhood that not only estranged him from the family, but also cast a shadow over Hill House, a fire that claimed their grandparents' lives. Chapter 5. Unearthly Whispers. As the sun sets, Ella begins to hear soft whispers echoing through the hallways at night. She dismisses them as her imagination, but soon they become impossible to ignore. The whispers seem to guide her toward a hidden room, sparking her curiosity about the house's dark history. Chapter 6. The Hidden Room. One stormy night, Ella discovers the hidden room behind an old bookshelf. Inside, she finds a diary belonging to her grandmother, filled with cryptic entries about the darkness that lurks in Hill House. As she reads, she realizes that the house itself seems to be alive, potentially holding on to the pain and secrets of those who have lived within it. Chapter 7. Revelations and Tensions. Ella shares her findings with Michael, but rather than excitement, she faces his anger and resistance. He warns her that uncovering the past might disturb the spirits that dwell within Hill House. Frustrated but undeterred, Ella pushes him to confront their family's history. Chapter 8. Haunting Memories. Ella begins to experience vivid nightmares, reliving moments from her childhood, intertwined with tragic imagery from the diary. She sees flashes of her grandmother in peril and hears the fragments of warnings echoing through her dreams. These experiences draw her deeper into the mystery of Hill House. Chapter 9. Michael's Struggle. Michael, battling his own inner turmoil, reveals how the fire and its aftermath shaped his life. He confesses that he once believed he could leave the darkness behind, but Hill House continues to call to him, creating a rift between him and Ella. Their growing bond becomes both comfort and source of conflict. Chapter 10. The Confrontation. After a particularly unsettling night filled with ghostly encounters, Ella decides to confront Mrs. Gray about the house's history. Fiona reveals her knowledge of the spirits and their connection to the family, suggesting that unless they confront the darkness, they will be shackled by their past. Chapter 11. The Family Reunion. The tension comes to a head when a distant relative, Miranda, arrives unannounced, stirring old rivalries and past grievances. She reveals even darker secrets about their lineage, including a history of madness that has plagued the women in the family for generations. The family's mistrust and fear unfold in a heated argument. Chapter 12. The Ritual of Cleansing. Ella decides to hold a ritual to cleanse the spirits of Hill House, hoping to free her family from the pain of the past. Michael hesitates but ultimately decides to support her. Together, they gather elements from the diary to create a symbolic ceremony, intent on closing the past forever. Chapter 13. Shadows Unleashed. During the ritual, the atmosphere thickens with energy, and the spirits manifest, revealing the family's bloodshed and betrayal. Ella and Michael witness the truth of their ancestors' suffering, forcing them to confront their own mistakes and familial ties. The truth reveals deep-rooted fear that links them more than they realized. Chapter 14. Breaking Free. As the spirits begin to calm, Ella and Michael share their realizations about breaking the cycle of trauma and pain. They pledge to redefine their family legacy, rejecting the darkness that has plagued them. However, the remnants of the past still cling, but they now hold the strength to face them together. Chapter 15. A New Dawn, with the first rays of sunlight breaking over. Hill House. Ella and Michael emerge, transformed by their experiences. The house feels lighter, almost vibrant with life, rather than foreboding. They look back, knowing the past will always be part of them, but now carrying a shared understanding and hope for the future. Chapter 16. Homecoming. Ella and Michael decide to keep Hill House, revamping it into a retreat for families dealing with unresolved grief. They establish a space for healing, recognizing the lessons learned within its walls. The whispers that once haunted them now become a source of comfort, a reminder of the bond that will always connect them to their roots. Epilogue. Whispering Shadows. Years later, as Ella and Michael sit on the porch of Hill House, the whispers are still heard, but they carry no fear. Instead, they are the echoes of stories waiting to be told, joys to be shared, and a reminder that life, in all its manifestations, is worth embracing. The legacy of Hill House is transformed, a place of healing, understanding, and love.